everyone, and welcome. It is truly an honor to have each of you joining us today for the Ictmh Fundraiser for Mental Wellness, organized by the Initiative for Cognitive Therapies and Mental Health, Ictmh. My name is Mfonobo Michael, and I lead the Human Resources team here at Ictmh, and I'll be your host for this evening. Across the world, mental health challenges continue to affect individuals, families, and communities. Yet many people, particularly in underserved regions, access to mental health care remains extremely limited. Many individuals live silently with depression, trauma, anxiety, and emotional distress. They endure these struggles not because help does not exist, but because help is often out of reach. This evening, we gather not only to discuss this challenge, but to become a part of the solution. The purpose of this fundraiser is to raise $30,000 to expand access to mental health services, strengthen community outreach programs, and support training initiatives that will equip professionals and volunteers to serve communities in need. Tonight, our goal is not only to raise $30,000, but it is about community, compassion, and hope. Welcome here once again.
Everyone. My name is Dr. Lizzie Idowu. I'm the clinical team lead. Thank you for joining us. The Initiative on Cognitive Therapies and Mental Health, known as Ictmh, was established with a clear mission to expand access to mental health care and promote psychological well-being within communities. Mental health remains one of the most underfunded and misunderstood area of healthcare in many parts of the world. In many communities, Stigma and limited resources prevent individuals from seeking help and receiving professional support that they need. Ictmh works to address these challenges through 3 key areas. First, community mental health outreach, where we organize educational programs that promote mental health awareness and reduce stigma. Second, accessible counseling services, where individuals facing emotional distress, trauma, anxiety, and other mental health concerns can receive professional support. Third, professional training and capacity building, where we equip volunteers, community leaders, and mental health practitioners with practical therapeutic skills. Our goal is to ensure that mental health care becomes a community resource rather than a distant luxury. Thank you.
My name is Dr. Maureen Salami, and I'm truly delighted to lend my voice in support of the Initiative for Cognitive Therapies and Mental Health, Ictmh for short. Mental health is not a luxury, it is a foundation. And in our Nigerian communities today, too many people are carrying enormous weight in silence, struggling without language for what they are experiencing, without access to the support they deserve. The stigma is real, the gap in care is real, and the cost of doing nothing is something we can no longer afford to ignore. That is why the work of Ictmh matters so deeply. Now, through mental health awareness, community outreach, professional training, and accessible support programs, Ictmh is doing the essential work of meeting people where they are, and also building the kind of care infrastructure our communities have long needed. This work cannot happen without partnership. And I want to encourage individuals, organizations, communities, and every well-meaning partner watching this. Your support makes a huge difference. Now, whether it is through collaboration, through advocacy, or through giving, you have a role to play in this. Together, we can strengthen mental health support across our communities. Thank you for caring enough to be part of this.
Thank you so much once again for joining us. Before we continue, we would like to share a short video highlighting the impact of mental health initiatives in communities served by Ictmh. This video provides a glimpse into the lives that have been touched through counseling services, outreach programs, and community education. Ms. Hafsat Ajibade will be up next with the personal story segment right after the video. Please take a moment to watch the video, and we will be right back.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Welcome.
Thank you, ma'am.
To see you.
Thank you, ma'am. We are from Initiative for Cognitive Therapies and Mental Health. You want to hear your view on the outreach that we did the other time. Was it impactful? Did you gain with the outreach we will do that time?
Yes, I get it because some people, they had them to go and pay money and check all these things. But this is the opportunity God take bring them home for them. And people comes very well to witness the thing and do the general checkup of it. They appreciate.
Okay. Oh, thank you, ma'am. Do you feel we should be doing this kind of program from time to time?
Yes, it will help many people. We don't know their standards and we don't have money to go to hospital and check. and this one help them a lot. At least when they tell you say you have sugar, you know say really you have sugar. If they tell you say you don't have sugar, you know say really you don't have sugar. If you have you know how to take control. Tell you what you do, and what you will stop eating, and what you will add in eating to make everything run well.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon, Auntie.
Yeah, we are from Initiative for Cognitive Therapies and Mental Health, Ictmh. We would like to ask some questions about the community outreach we did the other time. We want to get the impact. Are you aware of our initiative, of our organization? Do you know us?
Yes.
How did you get to know us?
I get to know you through Kazari Road Connection.
Okay. So that time that we came here to do this community outreach at the Radha Cinema,
Yes.
were you opportune to attend the program?
Yes.
Okay. We are one of the beneficiaries
Yes.
of the BP check
Yes.
and the
Sugar
sugar test.
level, yes.
Okay. Are you able to attend the program?
Yes. Yes.
So how do you feel? Do you feel the program is good enough and should be repeated, or they should not do it again?
No, the program is good. They should repeat it again because the program is very good. It teaches us many lessons on the way to interact with your children, for you to give them chance to talk for you to give them chance to pour their mind. The way you can do to your children, let them be free with you, so you know when they are correct and when they are not correct. So all that lecture we got it that day, and all this behavior people, this drug abuse, so they should repeat it again. Maybe by repeating it again, because as of last time, at least we get some reduction from that habit of drinking, over drinking. But maybe when they do it again, we still have more benefit on it again. But for me, in my own access that I really love is the way they talk about how you can relate with your children. You have to attend to them, give them orders to know how they have, what they have to be, the way your children behave this morning and the way you behave in the evening. You know that something is wrong. You have to know what you have to do in time before you can get out of hand. So all that lecture that they are really enjoying it.
Alright, thank you so much, Ma. I'm so happy to hear that. So are you aware now that we have our office close by at Abuja Road? Here we have our office there. We do free BP check and free sugar test every Wednesday, and then also every first Saturday and third Saturday we'll be doing aerobic exercises and awareness for people that are 50 and above, and also we'll be giving them breakfast. So alright, thank you. You are welcome at any time at our office for that free BP check and sugar test. So thank you so much, Ma, for your time.
You're welcome. Well done. More power to your ego.
Amen. Thank you.
I personally myself, I really appreciate their effort, because that day I have one or two things that I achieved from the program, and I will advise them, if they can assist, to be taking not something of that nature at least once in a 6 months. It will enable our children here to be on their senses.
Okay.
Because Kazari Road of today is not unlike Kazari Road of before. If I'm not mistaken, Kazari Road of then is an environment that people used to admire to stay. But Kazari Road of today has turned to a dumping ground for corrupt boys.
So in essence, you're saying we need to do more of community outreach,
Yes.
to enlighten people on
people
drug abuse,
on
and
drug
stuff
abuse, on using their hemp, and there is one again they introduced these few days now. Say, is it Kolo or what do you call it? You just see children under age, under 20, under 2-3 minutes, you will never recognize them again.
That's serious.
So this program, honestly speaking, person like me, is not really the food I had that day. What I achieve most, and I even know the level of my sugar,
That's good.
and BP. Since then, I just hang up my result in my wallet.
So that's nice.
I'm even looking forward for a day like that again.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Afisat Ajibade Masood. I am the outreach coordinator for this noble organization, Initiative for Cognitive Therapies and Mental Health. I'll be taking you through the personal story segment. Statistics often help us understand the scale of a problem, but stories help us understand the human experience behind those numbers. Once participant in one of our counseling program once shared her journey with us. For years, she struggled with overwhelming emotional stress and believed that speaking about her struggles would only lead to judgment. Like many individuals, she endured her pain in silence. Through one of Ictmh community outreach programs, she discovered that emotional struggles are not something one must face alone. After attending counseling and participating in support program, she gradually began to understand her emotions and develop healthier coping strategies. Today, she speaks openly about mental health and encourages others in her community to seek support when they need it. Her story reminds us that mental health care does more than treat symptoms. It restores dignity, it rebuilds hope, and it reconnects people with their community. Thank you. And you're welcome today. How are you?
I'm very much better. I'm fine, thank you.
It's nice to have you back for today's session. After last session that we had, have you been able to speak to your loved ones about your emotional struggles?
Yes, of course, I've been able to open up more. I've been more relatable. I've been able to discuss openly, share my experiences with my family, my friends, and loved ones. Unlike the last time I told you I can't talk to anybody, but you advise that talking help ease the pain and help me heal better. So I was able to carry out all the tips you gave me, and just like you said, I've improved a lot.
That's nice to hear.
Thank you so much for staying with us. Unfortunately, there's going to be a slight delay as our keynote speaker has an emergency and would be joining us later. For now, Christina Everett will be coming up next to speak with us. Please stay with us. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Christina Everett, and unfortunately, Dr. David hasn't joined us as of yet, but I'm hoping we hear from him soon, coming up soon. But we heard a lot of interesting ways that Ictmh has made an impact, but I just wanted to share that over the last year, Ictmh has made meaningful progress in expanding access to mental health support. Through our counseling services, outreach initiative, and educational programs, Ictmh has positively impacted over 3,000 individuals across multiple different communities. This impact includes community mental health awareness campaigns that educate families about emotional well-being and coping strategies. We have conducted mental health workshops in schools and community centers where students, parents, and community leaders learn practical approaches in managing stress, trauma, and other necessary emotional challenges. Ictmh has provided counseling services for individuals expanding grief, anxiety, depression, and family-related traumas, as we have seen before. Another very, very important aspect of our work is actually training volunteers and professionals who can provide support within their own communities. These efforts creating growing networks of individuals who are equipped to promote mental health awareness and provide support to those who need it most. While we are encouraged by this progress and are always aiming to continue to grow, with additional support and resources, Ictmh will be able to expand this program and reach many, many more communities. I'd like to leave you for now, but also introduce a short video by Dr. Mufon, and thank you so much for listening.
Good day, everyone. My name is Dr. Mfon, and I am proud to lend my voice to the incredible work being done by Ictmh in advancing mental health awareness and access to therapy in Nigeria. Mental health is real, yet it remains surrounded by many myths and misconceptions. While awareness is gradually increasing, only a few people truly know how and where to get the help they need. This is where Ictmh has been making a powerful difference, reaching out, educating, and providing much needed support to individuals and communities. However, as the impact of this work continues to grow, so does the demand, and with it, the financial responsibility. This is why we need your support, whether as individuals, organizations, or corporate bodies. Your partnership can help us reach more people and transform more lives. When we come together and lend a helping hand, the burden becomes lighter and the impact becomes greater. I therefore warmly invite you to join Ictmh Community Fundraiser for mental health. Let us give generously and work together to build a healthier, stronger community. Thank you and see you at this online fundraiser.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Ictmh, and thank you for joining us online tonight. I'm going to be talking about our fundraising goal. We are working towards a goal of $30,000. This goal represents hope, care, and growth for our community. $10,000 will support counseling services for underserved individuals and families, helping those who need it most to find healing and strength. $8,000 will fund community mental health outreach and education programs, bringing awareness and support directly into neighborhoods where it's needed. $7,000 will support professional training programs, equipping more practitioners and volunteers to serve so that no one is left without care. And $5,000 would strengthen volunteer support programs and community mental health networks, because together we are stronger. Imagine a family who has never had access to counseling. Imagine a young volunteer who wants to serve but needs training. Imagine a community that feels forgotten. Tonight, you can actually support to changing those stories. Now, every dollar brings us closer to transforming lives. Every donation tonight contributes directly to expanding these services. Together, we can reach this goal of $30,000. And together, we can make a lasting difference. Thank you. Hello, welcome back, and thank you for staying tuned. We now arrive at one of the most important moments of tonight's event, the opportunity to take action. This is actually a donation appeal. Mental health challenges affect millions, yet access to care remains out of reach for many communities. Tonight, you have the power to change that. We invite you to make a donation using our donation options that will be shown on your screen. No contribution is too small. Every gift brings us closer to expanding life-changing mental health services. Imagine the impact we can create together. If just 100 people give $100 tonight, we will reach 1/3 of our goal. That is the power of collective generosity. Thank you for standing with us. Stay tuned.
Thank you so much for staying with us up until this moment. And we can see that the donations have started coming, and we are deeply grateful for every donation, every dollar, every naira that you send in to support this very worthy cause. At this point, we would like to extend our sincere appreciation to some organizations and individuals whose generosity has greatly supported this event. Your commitment to mental health advocacy demonstrates the power of collaboration in addressing one of the most important public health challenges of our time. Together, we are building a future where mental health care is accessible, compassionate, and community-centered. We would like to say thank you to Dr. Leah Musa. We would like to say very big thank you to Bishop Michael Reynolds, amongst other people. Please keep the donations coming, and we're really, really grateful for every one of it. Thank you so much. Please stay with us. We'll be back shortly.
I just wanted to let it linger a little bit, but you've heard about our story, you heard us speak, and I hope that you made your way to some support and some donations. But I'd like to open up the floor to you guys. So we want to welcome some questions. We'll take about 5 minutes to answer some questions. It could be about anything. It could be about Ictmh, the impact that we had, even about mental health awareness in Nigeria. And if you could just comment in the chat box, if you're on your laptop or on a phone, you just tap the screen on a phone or you wave your mouse around on the Zoom call and you see a chat box below. You can type in your questions. I'll read as many as I can, and my team members and I will answer as many as we can as well. So it'll take 5 to 10 minutes to do this before we move on. So be free. All right, we already have one. So one question says, how can one be a volunteer with you for outreach in the local communities that cannot speak English in Nigeria? That's a really interesting question. Can maybe someone in the HR team come and answer it?
All right, thank you so much. Thank you so much for that question. From the HR team, if you go to our website, www.cognitiveng.org, there is a button where you can click to apply as a volunteer. And once we get we receive your application, we'll take it up from there. We'll call you for a chat with you to get to know you better and get to know what areas you can volunteer with. And then we take it up, we go from there. So please check out our website, www.cognitiveng.org, and you will see where you're supposed to apply as a volunteer to join us as a volunteer. And as soon as we receive your application, we will definitely get back to you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I open the floor again to any more questions. And trust me, you enjoy your time as a volunteer. There's a lot of interesting different areas that you can contribute as well. And a lot of information you can gain from here. It could be about anything. Please don't be shy. I know one common question that we do get, and I'm not sure if anyone actually thought of that question, is that how is mental health different here from like the rest of the world? Is there a specific case or specific symptoms that you see in Nigeria specifically than in comparison to other African nations or even globally? So if anyone can take up that question, we can expand our knowledge on that.
Okay, thank you, Christina, for that question once again. Our CEO is coming up, Dr. Steph Okolo will be coming up. Sorry, the president, please. Will be coming up shortly, and I'm sure she will be in the right position to address that issue and as well as give her own speech as well.
Okay, thank you
Thank you.
very much. Can you all hear me?
Yes, doctor, we can hear you, ma'am.
All right, so good afternoon, good evening, depending on wherever you are. Good morning. Um, Unfortunately, our guest speaker had an emergency, and so he may or may not be able to join us as expected. So I wanted to use that opportunity and see how I can fill in as much as I can, not just filling in, but provide a clear objective or talk about what we do in Ictmh and the impact that it has or will continue to create. My name is Stephanie Okolo. I am, a soldier in the U.S. Army, as well as a practitioner, a mental health practitioner, a researcher, and also the president of Initiative for Cognitive Therapies and Mental Health. Right, today I want to take you on a journey that begins globally but lands deeply in Nigeria. It is a journey that is not just about statistics, but about people, about suffering, and more importantly, about solution, because we don't just talk about suffering without addressing or possible solution. Now, let me begin with a simple but powerful truth. Mental health, it's not a luxury. It is not optional. It is not secondary. Mental health is survival. Mental health is productivity. Mental health is dignity. And when it is ignored, everything else begins to collapse quietly, right? Globally, the mental health crisis is both vast and deeply concerning. And this, cut across all countries and societies and environs. Right now, about 1 in every 8 people in the world is living with a mental health disorder. And so when we hear us talk about a situation as disorder, it means that they get to a point where it is difficult for them to cope on their own, which means they need either a therapeutic measure or medication or otherwise. Then depression remains one of the leading cause of disability worldwide. And suicide continues to rank among the leading cause of death globally. But beyond these numbers lies a deeper issue. There is what we call the treatment gap. And you would agree with me based on the person who just posted or asked a question about the differences and how it differs. There is what we call treatment gap, and in many low and middle income countries, over 70% of individuals who need mental health care do not receive it. That means millions of people are suffering in silence. You can imagine a place as Nigeria, which is highly populated, the challenges and those who are willing to speak up, maybe because of shame, because of spirituality, and because of just people, the stigma, people, talking about seeing it as something else. So people are silent, and maybe because there's a lack of awareness. So why is this happening? First, of course, we talked about the stigma. Mental health is still misunderstood across many cultures. Second, there's shortage of trained professionals. And for those who have joined us within the past 3 years, would attest to that. We have worked our hearts out, and I want to commend everybody in ICTMH because we work day and night just to make sure that we provide the care that is needed and we provide accurate care. So our hearts are in this. But then third, mental health is often not integrated into primary healthcare system, maybe because of lack of skill, or maybe because of funding, or maybe because just lack of awareness. And finally, there's limited funding and policy, like we talked. The priority is not mainly fixed or seen, mental health seen as a priority in that aspect. But also, there is hope. Globally, we're beginning to see a shift from reactive care to preventive care, a shift from hospital-centered system to community-based system, a shift towards digital mental health solution that expands access. But the question remains though, how do these global realities translate to Nigeria? Nigeria presents one of the most complex mental health landscape in the world. Think about that. We are a nation of over 200 million people, yet we have fewer than 300 psychiatrists serving this entire population. Let that sink in for a moment. This creates a treatment gap of over 80%, but the number alone do not tell the full story. Let us look deeper. The first major challenge is workforce shortage. Mental health professionals are not only few, but they are also concentrated in the urban areas. This means that the rural communities, where the majority of Nigerians live, have little or no access to care. The second challenge is stigma and cultural beliefs. In many communities, mental health illness is not seen as a medical condition. It is often interpreted as spiritual attack. There was a time that we did a survey to generate data for our Kazauri Road event last year. And then we walked around and over 250 people took that survey. And most of them related mental health to witchcraft, spiritual attack, or something the ancestors have done wrong, right? And so it's often interpreted as a spiritual attack, is interpreted as witchcraft, or even a moral failure. As a result, individuals do not speak professionally, they do not seek professional help early. And when they do, it is often after the conditions have worsened significantly. The third challenge is economic barriers. Mental health care is largely out of pocket. We don't have a system where you get insurance to go into to get mental health care that you need. For many Nigerians, therapy is simply not affordable. The fourth challenge is policy implementation. While Nigeria has made a progress in Mental Health Act. Remember, before then, I think perhaps 2023 or earlier, mental health was seen as a lunacy act. And so while progress has been done for implementation of Mental Health Act, but the implementation still remains limited. Policies exist, but systems are weak. And then there is a fifth challenge that is often overlooked, the challenge of trauma. Nigeria is a nation exposed to multiple layers of trauma, from insurgency in the Northeast, to economic hardship, to gender-based violence, to family instability. We are all not just dealing with mental health, we are dealing with chronic, accumulated, and intergenerational trauma. Now, here's the deeper truth that we must confront. Mental health in Nigeria is not just a clinical issue, it's a social issue. It is economic issue, it is cultural issue, and it's also spiritual issues. And because of this, we cannot simply import Western models or completely import Western model of care and expect them to work. We must adapt. We must contextualize. We must build systems that reflect the realities of our people. So what do? How do we respond to a challenge of this magnitude? Imagine that. The first solution is tax shifting. We must train non-specific or non-specialists to provide basic mental health support. And that's what we do in Ictmh. Although it is called the Initiative for Cognitive Therapies and Mental Health, we start from the grassroots, from the baseline. We start by teaching people what exactly is the meaning of mental health. What are different issues that you have to deal with? What is of a family, like one of the person who attended one of the training and talked about the impact of listening to their children, hearing them, building that bond. We begin to teach you all those things, the basis, so that we get to the point that where you are confident enough to be a trainer, a peer-to-peer trainer, or train the trainer, and all those things. And that's one of the missions that we have. We want to train teachers, community leaders, religious leaders, youth mentors, and we have that, and we've been doing that. And interestingly, most people here can attest to it. These trainings are all free, right? This is not optional. We believe in Ictmh that it is a necessity, because we cannot wait for hundreds of psychiatrists that may take decades to train. The second solution is community-based mental health systems. Mental health must move beyond hospitals. It must enter schools. It must enter churches. It must enter the mosque. It must enter the workplace. Care must be where people already are. The third solution is cultural adapted therapy. We must integrate faith, family systems, and community values into mental health intervention, because healing in Nigeria is not just individualistic, it is collective. The fourth solution is digital mental health expansion. Technology currently allows us to bypass geographical barriers through teletherapy, WhatsApp group, which we have. I think our Ictmh WhatsApp group, we have over 180 something. And then we have the campus group where we have almost 200. And then so we have several groups where we tailor different ideas and treatment or interventions to individual. And we also, of course, like I mentioned, the online training. We can reach thousands of people through this electronic forum or modern. The fifth solution is early intervention and prevention. We must begin with children. If you check on our website, we have the Kids Corner, we have journal publications, we have just general adult corner. We're trying to tailor our awareness to all this domain, right? So we must begin with children, teach emotional intelligence, teach coping skills, teach resilience, because prevention is always more powerful than treatment. And finally, we need policy and advocacy. We must push for funding as we are doing now. There's no shame in it. And so we must continue intentionally push for funding, for insurance inclusion, for structure implementation of mental health system. At Ictmh, we are actively applying these principles. We have reached over 3,000, actually 3,008, 3,000 individuals with mental health support. We have trained over 50 mental health coaches. We're still training them. We do have practicums every Wednesday. And so we impute intentionally our effort to better lives. We run weekly training programs, community outreach initiative, as you've seen on the screen earlier, and cultural responsive intervention. Our model is simple: train minds, heal communities, sustain impact. So, as I conclude, I want to leave you with this. Mental health in Nigeria is not a future problem. It is a present emergency, but it is also an opportunity. an opportunity to build systems that are culturally intelligent, community-driven, scalable, and sustainable. If we do nothing, we will continue to treat symptoms. But if we act intentionally, we will transform lives. And perhaps for the first time, we will build a mental health system that truly belongs to us. Thank you for listening. And I'll hand over to the HR.
Thank you so much. Your passion is very, very evident. I mean, anyone who has spoken with you would clearly see the passion with which you do what you do. And we're thankful for that, ma'am. We have a question for you on the chat box, and we would like for you to answer the question, ma'am. And the question says, how can we truly tell if someone is mentally healthy or not? In Nigeria, there's a common belief that many people are not mentally okay. They assume that with time, this will get better. So her question is, we might want to address that now. Thank you.
Okay, so how can we tell if somebody is mentally stable or not? Again, first of all, it's the relationship that you have with the person that also gives you the opportunity to assess the person and tell. Now, if you have a relationship, you can also know when the person was behaving differently as opposed to how they're behaving currently, right? And so that is a signal there, knowing that something is not right, right? You just cannot assume if you've not had a relationship with that person, whether in your environs, whether it's your neighbor or your family member. But when the person begins to act a certain way, shows some kind of symptom, whether it's anxiety, whether it's isolation, whether it's the person who used to be so chatty is no longer chatting anymore, and they isolate themselves and begin to do something that is different from who they usually used to be, that brings concern, right? And sometimes maybe it's just a temporary measure. And so I'm always careful when we talk about mental health and mental health disorder. We can have an immediate crisis, doesn't mean that we have a mental health disorder. A mental health disorder has to be diagnosed, right? And because you're no longer functioning in the capacity that you used to. And so a clinical expert diagnoses it and say, this is no longer, this is this, and there are criteria that is used to diagnose that. And that's when you know that the person has a mental health disorder. It's a clinical term, which means that somebody who is in a clinical domain, who is specialized and expert in it, is able to diagnose that person. But for you, who is the first line, maybe viewer or first line relationship, you can tell when somebody is not okay, and maybe they just need just a grounding technique, or just a breathing, a calming, or certain things like that. And then, but you keep track of it. If it doesn't look right, it doesn't sound right, then perhaps it's not right. I hope I answered that question.
So much, Doctor, for addressing that very important question. And thank you for addressing the issue of stigma in our communities, and also for buttressing the fact that we have less number of practitioner psychiatrists, clinical psychologists who are actually, compared to the number of mental health cases that we have in Nigeria. Thank you so much, ma'am, for taking the time to address this.
Thank you.
And again, would like to say thank you so much to every one of you who has joined us tonight. We are deeply grateful. Please keep the donations coming. We are really grateful for them, because every dollar, every naira will go into making a difference in especially underserved communities. Now, we come to the end of tonight's event. As we come to the end of this gathering, I would like to once again, on behalf of our esteemed organization, express our deepest gratitude to every one of you who has found time, created time to join us, and especially more to every one of you who has given or is about to give. Mental health is not merely an individual issue. It is a community responsibility. When individuals receive the support they need, families grow stronger, communities become healthier, and societies flourish. I bet you would agree with me on that. The work of Ictmh represents a commitment to compassion, understanding, and healing. Your presence tonight demonstrates that this vision is definitely shared. Thank you for your generosity, your support, your dedication to improving mental health in communities that need it the most. Together, we can build a future where mental health care is accessible to everyone. If you would like to know more about us, do check our website, www.cognitiveng.org. And for further inquiries, if you would like to make an inquiry, ask a question, want to know what more we do, or want to follow up on this fundraiser, the after projects or programs that we engage in after this fundraiser, please you can send your email to inquiry@cognitiveng.org. Inquiry@cognitiveng.org. Our website again is www.cognitiveng.org. Thank you so much. Please keep the donations coming and do have a very wonderful evening. My name is Mfonaba Michael once again, and I salute you on behalf of every staff of Ictmh. Have a good night.
Thank you.